Hey everyone, just wanted to make a quick video today on what is Bulletproof coffee, the Bulletproof brand, give you a little overview of, my review of Bulletproof coffee, which is something that I drink almost every single morning. What is Bulletproof coffee? It is coffee blended with unsalted grass-fed butter and coconut oil or MCT oil. I make this every morning, and the first question I always get is, why? Well, when you take coffee and blend it with fats like butter and coconut oil, you will kind of jumpstart your body into ketosis or fat burning mode. It's really important you don't put any sugar in this or have any other carbs or anything like that in the morning, because that's going to kind of eliminate the effect that this has on your body. In my opinion, this is also something where, if I drink like a full cup of black coffee, I will start to get a little bit jittery, a little, uncomfortable in my own skin. If I have a full cup of Bulletproof coffee, I could chug the rest of this and it'll kind of have a slow release effect on the caffeine. I really never get that, I've had too much coffee feeling like I do with black coffee. So science behind that, I couldn't tell you. That's just my experience with it. So the kind of story behind this, Dave Asprey, who, if you don't know, he's kind of at the forefront of the whole biohacking, trend that's going on right now. He was backpacking in the Himalayas or something and, drank this yak butter tea and then wanted to translate that into the Western world. He was overweight and unhealthy at the time, and this is something that started his journey, into losing weight and finding optimal health, which is something I'm all about, which is great. So when I first heard of this, it was right up my alley, and to be honest, this is kind of what has prompted my journey into all of this. So when Dave first came up with this, he had this experience. It was wonderful. He wanted to replicate it. He came back, he made this, he kind of made a podcast, a blog, a brand, if you will, around Bulletproof coffee. However, the problem with it was you can't make money on the idea of telling people to, just take their coffee and blend it with butter, and he can't sell, and coconut oil, which is something readily available in any grocery store shelf. So he kind of needed a way to market this. So thus became the Bulletproof brand. He's got a web store that he calls Upgraded Self, and then he's also got, a blog and all that kind of, a podcast, that kind of thing. He actually has started selling his own coffee for some time now, which he claims is mycotoxin free. Mycotoxins it's a mold toxin that's left on the bean when the coffee rots, and, he's got this whole thing into that. You can go to his website, check out all the stuff there. Just my opinion and review, I've tried his coffee. I've tried some other medium roast single origin brands. I can't tell a difference. I think maybe there is something to the mycotoxin thing in coffee, but it's probably just to people that are more susceptible to that. Me, I didn't notice a difference, so I'm not going to pay the extra money for his coffee. He also makes a number of other products, things like MCT oil, which is a refined coconut oil that is just the medium chain oils. And he sells these all on the Upgraded Self website. For me, go ahead and check out that Upgraded Self blog. However, I always give everyone a little bit of a warning before they go there. Sometimes I'll send people there, I get a little bit of mixed reactions. Sometimes people come back and go, I need everything on that website. This is the greatest thing there is. And then other people look at it and go, this is a scam. Why are you looking at this? I think the truth is somewhere in between those two extremes. Dave Asprey is a marketing genius. He's very into health. He has a lot of great information out there. He also has taken some of that information and, in my opinion, blown it out of proportion to sell his products. Overall, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he is a salesperson. He is wanting to make money off the products he's created. There's some amazing products on his Upgraded Self site, including the liposomal glutathione, which I take intermittently. There's also, some other great products like charcoal. His MCT oil is great. His vanilla bean powder is fantastic. Like I said, it's all a little overhyped. It is definitely a little higher price than what you could find elsewhere. He's got a couple of products that the marketing has been, I'm not so sure how I feel about it. The number one is a product called Unfair Advantage. It's PQQ and CoQ10. And basically, this supplement is something you can buy elsewhere. However, his is a liposomal form of it. And when he started hyping that this was going to be released, there was a lot of, he had called it Unfair Advantage. He said it would change your life forever, all those kind of crazy drastic claims. And then when you actually look at it, it's a low dose of CoQ10 and PQQ, and it is incredibly expensive. So I have bought the product. I actually really like it. I just have found another form of it that I get just as good of effects for, and it's about half the price. And I don't like the name Unfair Advantage and this whole it will change your life hype. So the other thing I want to mention is there is actually a Bulletproof forum. I spend quite a bit of time there. I pulled a ton of great information from there. And it's definitely something worth checking out. It's a great community. There's a lot of great people on that website. The other thing is definitely check out Dave's podcast. It's free like any podcast, and there is usually tons of great information. You just kind of, if you've been listening to it for a while, Dave tends to kind of tell the same story over and over and over again. All sorts of things. When he was 26, he made $6 million selling the first t-shirt on the internet. And how he spent $50,000 or whatever the number that he throws out there is, kind of biohacking his health and his gut and all these other things, which is great that he wants to pass along that information. Just again, in my opinion, the whole thing is a little over marketed. Back to the Bulletproof coffee, there's one other thing I wanted to touch on, which is the difference between using coconut oil and MCT oil. So coconut oil is great. I use it to cook with. I use it as a hand lotion, all sorts of other things. MCT oil is medium chain triglyceride oil, and it's like a sixth of what's in coconut oil. When you extract it, there's actually no coconut flavor, which some people really like. In my opinion, when you heat coconut oil up anyway, there's not much of a flavor to it. So I used this grass-fed unsalted butter and MCT oil in my Bulletproof coffee, not using Dave's beans. I just used a regular medium roast for quite some time. And I started getting, like, before my first meal of the day, which would be at like 3 or 4 o'clock, I started getting a little jittery, a little weird feeling, some heart palpitations, that kind of thing. Not a fan of that. For me, I think the MCTs were just a little too strong. They're readily absorbed in your liver. I don't think I needed all that. I switched to coconut oil, never had the problem again. That being said, it's worth experimenting with. A lot of people, the MCTs, if you're not already fat adapted, meaning your body's used to burning, about half of your calories from fat, MCT oil is a great way to go. It'll kind of help your body jumpstart that process. So right now, every morning I use the Kerrygold grass-fed unsalted butter. You can buy this in just about any grocery store. I use just a medium roast coffee, nothing special, and extra virgin coconut oil. And I just throw a couple teaspoons of that and a couple teaspoons of the butter and throw it in a blender, blend it all up. I usually have a cup of coffee before I leave the house, and then I will take a travel mug with me as well and kind of sip on that. Again, big benefit of this is I feel full and satisfied and great and just ready to tackle the day all morning. I usually don't start getting hungry for my first actual meal until like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I know some people that, they can drink this and go until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and not have any hunger, which is fantastic. Especially for me, I used to get that like hangry feeling, like I have to eat every few hours or else, I'm going to kill someone. I can't pay attention because, I need to go get a bagel right now, which I don't anymore. And it's just an amazing feeling to be freed from that, especially in the morning, which is the time I like to be most productive, in my life. So again, definitely something worth checking out.